I'm making no attempt to hide, guys. I'm sorry. I don't kneel. I don't kneel.
I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande.
Whoa, you forgot.
Hold on.
You can't wait.
All right. Stage better say.
All right.
The stage business says hold on.
Yep. I don't even know.
All right.
Yep, we're jumping ahead here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ballad of Perius Frink and the Barrel Contest, Act 1, outside the Old Methodist Church.
The Exorcist.
I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I love my honey and my frying pan. Nancy Frink, is that you?
Jake, why it's Jake Slate. I haven't seen you at a coon's age.
Let's let these horses graze for a little bit, and we'll get under the shade of this oak tree and catch up. Woo!
Last I heard of you, you were headed out west, chasing a young man's dream.
I won't say the dream went bust, but the young man part definitely changed. How are you and your husband getting along?
Perius Frink, you've known him as long as I have. He doesn't change much. Trouble comes on him, but don't upset his valets or his relatives. Next thing you know, he's smiling like a 12-year-old boy who thinks he knows more than teachers, parents, and all the common folk.
That part about his relatives wasn't always true. Remember right after your wedding when your pa and him almost came to blows? Yeah, that was the beginning of the Great Barrel Race.
People remember that contest like it was a great old time. I was scared that one or both of them was going to end up killed. Sorry for hearing.
No, it wasn't likely, but it was hot blood and pecking order. But you know it was exciting as anything that ever happened around here. Except maybe that time Gulp the Lake Monster decided to come back and visit Perius. Remember how Perius cared for Gup when he was a youngster, the size of a pollywog? A lot of roads got widened for free when Gup walked down them. If I remember it right, ooh, that green fellow they named Champ sure grew into a giant size.
The trouble started at the wedding reception. We held it right here under some tents.
Are they?
Oh boy.
Perius weren't normally a drinking man, but was drinking that wedding day. His father-in-law was gruff and his new family relations were tough. Perius, I told him, drink up on me, it's your wedding day. There's room for ample cheer. I assure you none of your relatives are anywhere near. Then we heard some voices coming closer in the yard. In and bellowing came his new father-in-law, Frederick Lard.
Where's that sphincter? Where's that sphincter? Where's that fool Cooper? Fool Cooper. Thinks he's better than me at beer and is hung up on the see?
Sure. Good day to you, Mr. Lard. Is it business you're on?
Business? Yeah, business. You've business with me and all your wife's of Aubrey County and Slingerland's too.
Now we're supposed to be circling around town.
We're circling around. We're circling around.
It was
An Irish green belt butter. Like, you don't want to mess with me.
Ad lib now, ad lib.
Oi, face!
It was at the wedding reception. We had just got married, and now half an hour later, my pa and my husband were circling around like two roosters at a cockfight.
But Jesus, we're supposed to be ad-libbing in the background. We can make this a contest of wits. But I won't hit it. Just defenseless hands. A defenseless ball.
They were both coopers and well known for making well-crafted barrels. My pa was a cooper, my grandfather taught him, and it was after we drank just 5 whiskeys that day that the bragging all began.
Perius! You can trim a fair stave and build a fair coffin for a working man's grave. all know that coopering is a skill.
A skilled what?
I'm choking up. And all the best out is barreled by Frederick Lard Maid. And don't you forget it, man.
Let it go. Let it go, Purius. You're a loud man, never forward in jest, and this be your wedding day.
Now, Jake, waiting or not, I'm no use for a pest. Let's test my barrels against his. First, let me go check with my new wife Nancy over there in the corner. Yeah. If she's okay with it, Frederick, and Frederick agrees to the test, we'll go keep it short and sweet, not fancy.
Let's see whose barrel is strongest. We'll stack up as much weight as possible on each of your barrels.
They set up 2 barrels in the yard. The right one was Purius's, the left one was Lars. To test strength, the wedding party climbed one another, piled their bodies on barrels like stacks of old timber.
Puppet activity takes place.
Serious.
I love these stage directions. Puppet activity takes place.
This is strangely sexy. Only 2 of us to go. Make way for the tallest barrel climber of the day.
Is this Perry's over here?
This is Lard here. Lard. What?
Get up on top there.
My lines.
Take your lines.
Bird.
Get up.
Get up, you little pup. My turn is next. They call me Fatty Lard in West Gildern, and Sadie for the last was just part of me plan. Over here.
That's Howard. Stage action as above.
Both of the barrels held for a minute or 2.
Yeah.
Then the lard barrel tipped, tossing equal barrels and 50 gallons of My cousin, poor Bill Walther, got caught in a tight place
poor Bill.
and we're ever the same. From that day to this, Gimpy Walker were his name.
Gimpy.
Thus ends Act 1.
Oh my God.
All right.
To that large barrel.
We gotta change the scenery first.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We gotta change the scenery.
You're gonna change the scenery, huh?
Gotta get this hill.
Complicated stage direction.
Scene change.
Who's seen one?
But Jesus, I just looked in the mirror. I look like a leprechaun.
Alan, were you tripping?
I was working at doing test scoring.
All right. Now, second act, audience participation, cheering and jeering. Okay.
Cheering and jeering.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, we're used to that.
You'll know when the time comes.
Act 2 moves to
I hope
high
somebody-
Wait a
point.
minute, that's Casey's line.
Yeah. Here and here.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I can't hear me.
Okay.
Okay.
AC, you want to read your line?
Oh, all right. Yes. Act 2 moves to High Point Hill near Altamont.
The next contest was when the barrel test got really large. People had heard about the first try, how the barrel tipped and Gimpy's injury. There had been over 200 people crowded at the starting point, and most of them ran down the hill to get to the finish. The course was from High Point, above Altamont, to the valley town below.
Gamblers from all over Albany County were taking bets. I put down a goose or 2 on Purius, I do tell.
Well, I wasn't going to risk the family silver. Good gods, they were both family. At least neither was riding inside their barrels, just the barrels themselves to see which would roll the straighter of the 2.
Yeah.
They started a course laid from High Point to the valley floor. Straight was the course, the judge whose barrel would rotate true. Down an old farm road they bounced, hitting stones and flew. Tight was the race, Lard versus Frink. One barrel against the other, rolled by in a brink.
Get set, get ready, go!
Even, neck and neck, cork and cork.
Get out of my way, you pot-bellied bag of Brussels sprouts!
Then Pierce's lane got bumpy and Fatty's barrel went into the lead as Pierce got a little off course.
Woo! Oh, bad lip.
If I was a rich man.
Down it. I'm winning, you're losing. Pay no attention to the man behind you.
The last kick out to the hill and the finish line were coming up fast. Various barrels got themselves back in line.
They be coming round the mountain when they come, coming round the mountain when they come, coming round the mountain, coming eat me fast, you fatty lard.
Match.com.
Yay!
On the last stretch, Large Barrel ran by in first. Right behind was Frank Barrel. It couldn't have been worse. Large Barrel got in first. But hold the remarks. By the width of 3 fingers, Large was declared off the course. Squawking and moaning flew between supporters of the two. Squawking and moaning.
Walking and moaning.
Both agreed it was undecided, and I promised free brew.
That's right.
The gamblers weren't happy and said they wouldn't be back. They decided to go to Saratoga Springs and start a racetrack.
End of Act 2.
This is another act?
Alright.
Act 3. Here comes the scenery. Oh, leave it there.
There's 100 acts.
Scenery goes on top of the scenery.
Oh. So there's 27 acts.
This is high tech.
You guys need the barrels.
The barrels are down there.
Okay.
It's the ocean. Is it
There you
supposed to
go.
be riding these things? It's the ocean.
The ocean.
No, it's really also I'm not riding his barrel. I'm riding That's for sure. I'll ride my own barrel.
Yay! Woohoo!
Act 3, Cahoe's Waterfalls.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sound effects.
On the boat.
All right. On the left.
What got to be large became even larger. To the base of the Mohawk, my husband and Pa took their duel.
Daddy's line. Daddy doesn't understand.
Daddy said, "Period, my son-in-law, you are a disgrace. You need to go down meekly and admit to second place." Period.
Boo, boo.
Nice rhyme.
That
That was a good rhyme.
Curious.
I would expect I got too much pride in my own honest work of trade to lie down and say my barrels are better made.
Yeah.
1,000 puppets, hosts along the river shore to see Coopers ride their barrels where none had gone before.
Yay!
First, we bob up and down in place.
You two fools come back alive, or I'll fry your gizzards down and carve
Yes,
your
Mom.
into the
Bring
vultures.
that woman over here.
Early in the morning.
This water is wet. Golly God, it ain't even time for my monthly bath.
Early in the morning on the river above Cohoes Falls, I witnessed the floating barrel race. and the contents once and for all.
Where are you?
The barrels will start moving down the falls. Motion of the barrels slows more and more turmoil. They bump up into each other and go under the water. Then come back up there. Curious and fatty make appropriate noises and comments. Shit! I don't like water! Oh my God! Help! I got sardines in my underpants, and I don't even like sushi!
Noisy river rushing over rocky cliffs. Scary sounds you never heard. They caught me up in excitement and stroked my reasonable fear. Both barrels scattered, both coopers lost their bluff.
Help! Help! Ad lib! Help! Help! Grandfather Cart! Help me, Grandfather Cart! Help me, Grandfather Cart! Everybody say it together with me! Help me, Grandfather Cart! Help me, Grandfather Cart!
They were almost certain of drowning. There was very little hope. Purius was a strong swimmer, but my pa was not. But Blubber turned out to be buoyant. He kept bobbing to the top. Pushing aside the broken barrel wood caught in the undertow, Purius reached out for Pa and pointed a direction for them to go.
Purius and Fatty act out of love and inappropriate dialogue. I mean, appropriate. Grab my arm, Pa!
Hello!
Ow! Out of there! Ow! My arm!
Hey, grab my arm! Grab my arm!
Next page! Now we get to behave more like bosom brothers.
Together they swam in strong currents, held tight to each other, their rivalry forgotten.
We gotta be friends now.
They behaved more like bosom brothers. They waded to shore near drowned barrelmen. Each helped the other climb the bank as we began to understand a difference in their manner. Signs of fences on the men.
This contest is ended, said Purius in a loud voice. Let's forget this foolish race and make family our choice.
I agree, Purius. Or should I say, son, the days of contest are over, the days of Viagra begun. It's late, hang the crowd.
Wait, AC Everson speaks.
'Twas nearly 3 years later when history does record a barrel made by Parius and Frederick with Bill Walker abroad on the Mohawk River over Cohoes Falls was the first time rowed. Oh, okay. Oh, Barrel and Bill.
This is you on the barrel.
And Bill emerged unharmed, or so the story is told, how both smiling Coopers stood together in triumph's golden glow. They built one better together, friends, and that's all you need to know.